That one just now. Kakashi is still replaying the lightning that burst out from Sasuke just now in his mind. Immediately afterwards, it turned into lightning and quickly left the original position as if suddenly. That speed, I am afraid that Jonin, who is known for his speed, may not be able to react. What a terrifying speed this is. Sasuke is just a genin now, not to mention that the amount of chakra is very limited. If this technique is released by more ninjas from chakra, I am afraid that its power will become even more terrifying. Hiruzen put down his pipe at this point, looking away from the crystal. Looking aside at Kakashi, it seems that Uchiha's little devil is hiding very deeply. He actually mastered such a terrifying technique. Kakashi nodded. Judging from the terrifying speed, although this technique is not clear what it is. But the power is at least an S-level ninjutsu. Looks a bit like Cloud Shinobi Village's lightning-style chakra mode. Kakashi has heard about the housekeeping skills of Cloud Shinobi Village Raikage. But he is not sure if it is, and Hiruzen frowned. He was thinking about this just now. If Sasuke's technique really originated from Cloud Shinobi Village, it means that Sasuke had secretly contacted Cloud Shinobi's ninjas. It is not even known what secret agreement was made. Cloud Shinobi Village has always been eyeing Konoha, especially in the years when Sannin left Konoha. As the second most powerful ninja village in the ninja world, Cloud Shinobi has never given up the idea of fighting Konoha. So if Cloud Shinobi wants to conspire against Konoha through Uchiha Sasuke, Sarutobi Hiruzen will not be too surprised. The more he thought about it, the more worried Hiruzen became. This unsettled element unexpectedly reappeared. There was an uneasy feeling out of his control. Kakashi, you are the instructor Jonin of the 7th class, so this task can only be entrusted to you. Task? Kakashi froze for a moment. No need for Hiruzen to say, he probably knows it too. Let's try Sasuke's weird technique. He would go even if Hiruzen didn't tell him to. Please monitor Sasuke closely. Once you find anything weird about Sasuke, report to me as soon as possible. If you find Sasuke betraying Konoha, or doing something harmful to Konoha, you can kill him immediately. On the spot. Shoot to kill. Kakashi was stunned. He didn't expect that the mission Hiruzen mentioned was this. That's right. You can test Sasuke today. Saying that, Hiruzen looked up. There was a hint of killing intent in his eyes. Sometimes, if you don't use ruthless hands, you won't be able to force anything. Hearing this, Kakashi closed his eyes slightly. I understand, Lord 3rd Generation, please rest assured and leave it to me. Hiruzen slowly closed his eyes, raised his hand and waved lightly. Kakashi has disappeared in the Hokage office, and at the same time in the classroom. Sasuke looked at Naruto, who was upside down, and felt extremely depressed. If he hadn't possessed lightning style, super speed, wouldn't he have fallen into Naruto's hands again? Can this guy not be such an idiot? The current Sasuke is still afraid of the inertia of the plot, if he does it for himself again. It's not necessarily possible to avoid that extremely humiliating scene every time. Naruto got up cursing, bastard, what did you do to me just now? Having performed a header in public, Naruto now feels ashamed and humiliated. And he thought it was Sasuke's hands and feet, and Sasuke asked very calmly. Have I ever touched you? Forehead. Naruto froze for a moment, thinking carefully. It seemed that Sasuke had never touched him. It was a guy behind him who touched him and made him fall over. Little Sakura. Naruto, you bastard, can you stop bothering Sasuke-kun and stay in your place? Ino. That's Sasuke-kun, if you hadn't dodged quickly just now, you would have hit me on the head. Speaking of this, Ino seems to have thought of something. According to that angle, Naruto fell down. If Sasuke didn't dodge in time, the result would be Sasuke-kun's first kiss is probably going to be given by that bastard Naruto. Thinking of this, Ino felt terrified. If Sasuke-kun's first kiss was snatched away by Naruto before she even made a move, she would die of pain. At this time, Shikamaru, Choji, Shino, Akamaru, Hinata and others were all thinking about the flash of lightning they saw just now. What kind of ninjutsu is that? So fast, even the usually listless Shikamaru cheered up at the moment. Unexpectedly, Sasuke still hides this kind of power. Just judging from the speed shown just now, it is definitely faster than Jonin. But what technique did he use? At this time Iruka came in and found the classroom was in a mess. Quickly let all genin return to their seats, and began to guide Jonin to pick up his students. And no surprise, Kakashi was the last one to come. He had already come, but he just stayed outside to watch Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke. Naruto kept talking to little Sakura, and little Sakura looked at Sasuke with a nympho. Sasuke sat in the corner, keeping an absolute distance from the two of them. From this point of view, Kakashi feels like a headache. Sasuke is obviously very out of group. This is not because Sasuke is as arrogant as before, but because he is afraid of the inertia of the plot, and let Naruto, an idiot, give himself another accident. So Sasuke must keep an absolute safe distance now. But in Kakashi's view, Sasuke is just very proud, and seems to disdain to sit with Naruto and little Sakura. Are they problem children? Kakashi seems to be out of luck. Finally, he walked into the classroom and took the three of Sasuke away. Come to the rooftop. Next it's my turn to introduce myself. Sasuke. No comment. Little Sakura and Naruto both truthfully answered the three questions of interests, hobbies, and ideals. However, at the end Sasuke answered in 4 words. Naruto just stood up and was about to tell Sasuke cheating. Kakashi said very speechlessly, "Self-introduction is a necessary part of our team's mutual understanding. If you don't tell us how we understand you." Sasuke. Ninja, shouldn't you try to keep your own affairs as secret as possible, lest the enemy find your own weaknesses from these matters? If you say you understand, you will gradually understand it later, and what you say may not be the truth. This reason even Kakashi didn't think of it. Sasuke is not wrong, but the problem is, then he has no way of knowing about Sasuke. Hey, it seems that these 3 guys are really not easy to deal with. Okay, since you know how to hide information about yourself, you have the vigilance of a qualified ninja. Kakashi thought about it. If even this kind of thing made Sasuke so cautious, then all these years. It is reasonable to have not exposed that powerful lightning style. Okay, 3, let's change places. Where are you going? Naruto still feels a little upset now. Why Sasuke doesn't say anything? We're going to test you next. Don't you think that if you pass the graduation exam, you can truly become a ninja? If you fail the test, you will be sent back to the ninja school to continue studying. Saying that, Kakashi glanced at Naruto, who seemed surprised, and then at Sasuke, who was extremely calm. As for little Sakura, she wasn't listening at all. A pair of eyes could not fly to Sasuke's face and could not be torn off. The 3 people are considered to be 3 different personalities. If this continues, Kakashi will not be very optimistic about these 3 people in the test later. Come to an open flat land in a relatively remote area around Konoha village. Not far behind is a forest. There is a clear stream in front of this flat land. Kakashi took out a pair of bells and tied them around his waist. The battle to grab the bell will test the team's ability to cooperate. But usually the genin who just graduated are not familiar with each other. It is impossible for anyone to think of such a thing as cooperation. So it doesn't matter whether you can grab the bell in this test. The important thing is to guide the Jonins, and use this method to first establish their own prestige. After all, these brats have never seen their own strength, so it is difficult for them to respect themselves too much. The second is to use this method to give the first class to the rookies who have just graduated. Let them understand the importance of partners. When a ninja performs a task, one person's strength is inevitably limited, and companions cooperate with each other to complete the task together. This is what genin urgently needs to learn. Get the bell. Even if you pass the test, if you don't grab the bell, then you all go back to the ninja school to continue studying. But there is one thing I want to remind you, there are only 2 bells. In other words, among the 3 of you, at least one will be eliminated. I will officially start 3, 2, 1, and I will give you 1 minute to hide. 3, 2, 1. When the countdown ended, the figures of Sasuke and little Sakura disappeared immediately. Only this guy Naruto stays where he is, and watching Kakashi say something like coming to a duel very arrogantly. Kakashi's mouth twitched slightly. The son left behind by his teacher probably has some brain problems. A genin who just graduated thinks he can defeat a jonin head-on. But Naruto's shadow clone is quite bluffing. The little Sakura who was hiding in the bushes stunned for a moment. Unexpectedly, even a crane tail like Naruto has mastered such a powerful ninjutsu. But the ending is the same as the original. An unforgettable Konoha body technique. 1,000 years of death directly cast a shadow on Naruto for the rest of his life. Even Sasuke was a little apprehensive. This move is too ruthless. While Sasuke was thinking, whoosh, a flash of light flashed across Sasuke's face. and with a crisp impact sound, it directly stabbed into the big tree behind him. Sasuke suddenly came back to his senses, and the next second was the kunai who flew straight towards him with 3 handles. Kunai's speed is not so fast. In the blink of an eye, he was less than 3 meters away from Sasuke. Next second, Sasuke just disappeared in place. Jumped out of the hidden bushes. Naruto, who was dangling in the air, looked at Sasuke, who jumped out suddenly. He also quickly shouted at Sasuke, "Sasuke, come help me, put me down." Sasuke ignored him and just looked at Kakashi. Those handfuls of kunai just now were thrown out with the idea of killing him. In terms of speed and strength, they are extremely terrifying. Hatake 50-50 is planning to kill himself? Well hidden, the average genin, probably dead. Kakashi didn't seem to care about the intensity of the attack just now. It was no longer within the reach of an ordinary genin. From that calm look, it was impossible to tell what he was trying to do. Sasuke's face was a little gloomy. I originally wanted to act a little bit according to the original work, but Kakashi is convulsed. Actually wanted to kill himself? I've been forced out, don't you plan to take the initiative? Then I will continue. Kakashi didn't watch any making out heaven this time, which made Sasuke very puzzled. Why didn't I do anything? Why did the plot change inexplicably? What happened to Kakashi? While still thinking about it, Kakashi reached for the ninja bag. Immediately afterwards, 6 kunai and 3 shurikens were thrown out. The air is directly connected into one piece. The speed of the hidden weapon completely made Naruto and the little Sakura a little unclear. Can follow. Jingle. All hidden weapons are blocked. 18 hidden weapons fell to the ground at the same time. Sasuke slowly lowered his right hand, staring at Kakashi. Naruto, who was hanging from the tree, froze. Just now. That guy Sasuke blocked Kakashi's hidden weapon with a hidden weapon in an instant? He was a little uncertain, feeling that he should be dazzled. How is this possible? At that moment, he didn't even see clearly when Kakashi threw the hidden weapon out. How could Sasuke react? The little Sakura in the bushes has settled down at the moment. Sasuke-kun. What a kunai throwing technique. Even Kakashi was a little surprised. He originally wanted to use kunai to force Sasuke to show his speed, and then let Sasuke display that lightning style step by step. But I didn't expect that Sasuke seemed to have reached the same level as himself in kunai throwing technique. This kid, is he even so strong in throwing kunai? Kakashi stopped but Sasuke didn't, and took out a kunai from the ninja bag. The hand spun quickly, playing a trick, then look at Kakashi. Suddenly rushed towards Kakashi. No matter how Kakashi suddenly looked like he was going to kill himself, there was only fighting now. If this guy really wants to kill himself, he has to find a way to escape. Sasuke's sudden acceleration didn't surprise Kakashi yet. It is indeed surprising that a genin who has just graduated can explode at such a speed. But Kakashi already knew about Sasuke's speed. Responding easily, Kakashi also took out kunai, ready to test Sasuke's body skills. However, the next second, there was a faint sound of breaking wind. Kakashi froze for a moment. His peripheral vision caught the right side, and there was an imperceptible black shadow. It was rapidly approaching in his direction. A split second, Kakashi stopped moving forward. In the next second, a shuriken struck from the right. Across Kakashi's eyes, looking at the shuriken that appeared at some point. Kakashi's heart was shocked. Think carefully about Sasuke's actions just now. Could it be the hidden weapon thrown at the moment when he raised his hand and turned kunai just now? Even though he threw the shuriken under the cover of playing kunai, he wanted the shuriken to circle such a large circle and stab towards his temple. This is not an easy thing, this Uchiha boy. At this moment in Hokage's office, Hiruzen's expression was also very surprised. Actually, you can use kunai to cover up the thrown shuriken. A genin would have such skills. Immediately after the crystal ball, Sasuke relied on a shuriken to create the first attack advantage. He waved kunai directly at the head and stabbed straight at Kakashi's heart. The movements, angles, and speed are all perfect. But Kakashi is not so easy to deal with. He easily blocked Sasuke's attack, and even turned around and kicked Sasuke fiercely. Even if you cross your hands to block in the air. But Sasuke was repulsed by Kakashi's power. The whole person backed away quickly. Sasuke unloaded the force almost instantly after landing, and quickly fine-tuned his body posture. Charge to Kakashi again, basically in the shortest possible time to ensure that you will not lose the rhythm of the attack. Seeing Sasuke's reaction, Kakashi was even more surprised. A genin, in terms of physical skills, how can he have such strength? It's just unbelievable. When the collision between Kunai and Kunai burst out a series of sparks. While Sasuke's attacks are fast-paced and his movements are flawless, Kakashi has more power than Sasuke. Given his age, Sasuke hasn't had time to practice physical skills. The gap in strength was too great, and they were still instantly repelled. But in the next second, Sasuke directly unloaded the force in a strange way, turned his head and accelerated and stuck it up again. The dazzling gymnastics confrontation began. Little Sakura, who was hiding in the bushes at the moment, was completely dumbfounded. Who I am? Where am I? Is this a battle between Sasuke-kun and Jonin-sensei? What happened to the fierce fight that was basically completely invisible? Sasuke-kun, so strong? Although Sasuke-kun is a genius, it is impossible for him to be this genius. Little Sakura was surprised, but Naruto was even more surprised. He also played against Kakashi just now, so he knows how strong Mr. Kakashi is. It's not something that a kid like him who just graduated can fight against. However, Sasuke actually fought back and forth with Mr. Kakashi, and it seemed that the battle was very fierce. Naruto dropped his hands naturally, staring fixedly at the figure flickering fast, almost making him unable to see Sasuke clearly. Sasuke, is this your true strength? Hiruzen was equally surprised. Being able to fight Kakashi to this extent in taijutsu, Sasuke basically has the taijutsu that is not lost to Jonin at a young age. However, due to the gap in Sasuke's strength, his physical skills did not reach Jonin's level. But even that was enough to worry Hiruzen. The Uchiha clan has a genius again. Is this a good thing for Konoha? And the most frightening person at this time is Kakashi. Because Kakashi can clearly feel that Sasuke's fighting rhythm is getting tighter and tighter. Even every movement becomes stronger than before. It's not a quick increase in strength, it's like a born genius for fighting. From being a little rusty at the beginning, Sasuke quickly entered the fighting state in just a dozen moves. And the physical skills visible to the naked eye are rapidly increasing. It's hard to discover this without fighting Sasuke yourself. Genius, absolute genius. Even for a moment Kakashi felt more genius than Itachi. Uchiha's monsters, there are so many. Kakashi felt helpless. But he didn't intend to continue spending time with Sasuke like this. Although Sasuke's taijutsu is improving, in the final analysis Kakashi has an absolute advantage in terms of strength. In the face of absolute power, skills are vulnerable. Boom. Kakashi got serious. With one palm, Sasuke, who had been fighting close to him, was sent flying. Although Sasuke had already blocked it, he couldn't stand it with too much force. And the distance he was shot this time has already made him lose the rhythm of continuing to attack. Sasuke, who stood still, did not attack immediately, but chose to defend. Kakashi was relieved to see Sasuke in action, sharp intuition. Still relying on that unbelievable fighting talent. Thinking in my heart that the movements of Kakashi's hands are not slow at all. The moment he raised his hand and threw kunai, now Kakashi wants to control the rhythm of the battle, and at the same time force out Sasuke's lightning style. And saw kunai shooting at himself. Sasuke also instinctively throws his own kunai. Sasuke doesn't think Kakashi is better than himself in kunai throwing technique. However, the problem is that Sasuke is not as strong as Kakashi. When the kunai was shot down, but Kakashi's kunai hit Sasuke's direction even though the angle was a little off. At the same time Kakashi approached Sasuke rapidly from another direction. Dodge. Kunai will make it impossible for Sasuke to deal with Kakashi's melee attack. Now there is only one choice left for Sasuke. While speeding up to avoid kunai, he must also avoid Kakashi's attack. But at Kakashi's speed, you have to be faster than Kakashi to avoid it. However, Sasuke doesn't want to expose lightning style yet, but he doesn't know that he has. Kakashi looked at Sasuke, who seemed hesitant. Aren't you going to use it yet? Your lightning style. At this moment, Sarutobi also stared at the crystal ball with full energy. But the next second, Sasuke grabbed the ninja bag with his right hand again. Sasuke reached out to grab the ninja bag on his waist. This action made Hiruzen frown. Don't you plan to use that lightning style at this time? Kakashi thought the same way. He didn't understand what Sasuke was trying to do. Use hidden weapons to deal with yourself? He should be very clear that there is no way to force himself back with a mere hidden weapon. Even if Sasuke can avoid kunai, he can adjust his posture and throw a hidden weapon towards himself. It is also impossible to interrupt the rhythm of his melee attack. Such a choice made Kakashi feel that Sasuke seemed to turn from a genius to a fool in an instant. But when he gave a bad evaluation of Sasuke's actions in his heart. But he saw Sasuke's left hand, which was forming a mudra. Seal? At this moment, both Kakashi and Hiruzen were stunned. It's not surprising that seals are formed. Isn't it normal for ninjas to seal seals in battle? However, the problem is, Sasuke one-handed seal. At the same time, the kunai taken out of the ninja bag with the right hand was thrown directly at Kakashi's kunai in the air. It is true that one kunai cannot stop Kakashi's kunai, but two kunai can completely block it. Sasuke, this boy. One-handed mudra, he can do one-handed mudra. Kakashi froze. He didn't expect Sasuke to know how to form mudra with one hand. And the frightening thing is that the printing speed is very fast. Such an astonishing printing speed, this is no longer within the scope of genin. When the kunai collided in the air, and Kakashi's kunai was bounced off. At the same time, Sasuke gasped suddenly. Seeing this action, Kakashi's eyelids jumped wildly. This is fire style. Judging from the print of the knot, it should be that fire style can't be wrong. That would be bad news for Kakashi. At his current distance, under normal circumstances, the coverage of fire style is very wide. If he gets hit, even he, Jonin, can't stand it. Fire style, great fireball technique. Sasuke put one hand in front of his mouth, and burst out a mouthful of flame. In an instant, violent flames swept directly. The heat wave formed by the terrifying flames swept across. Kakashi felt his face burn extremely hot. In the blink of an eye, he quickly jumped backwards. Boom! Terrifying flames swept out. The flame formed a fireball with a diameter of 3 meters, condensed in an instant, and bombarded Kakashi in a straight line. In the blink of an eye, it flew a distance of more than 10 meters. The final explosion left a huge crater in the ground. At this moment Kakashi also just retreated 20 meters away. Just barely dodged Sasuke's fire style. The flames are burning. Naruto on the tree, little Sakura in the bush, Hiruzen in front of the crystal ball. The three of them are all stunned now, especially Naruto and little Sakura. As the genin of the same period, they couldn't even think of it. Sasuke actually mastered ninjutsu. Still mighty fire style. This made the two of them stunned. Naruto, Sasuke, has already mastered a fire style ninjutsu. Little Sakura, it's so strong. I didn't see clearly the movement of making seals just now, and I forced teacher Jonin back. Standing on the edge of the crater formed by the flame bombardment, Kakashi also had a trace of cold sweat on his forehead. If Great Fireball had been faster, he might not have been able to dodge just now. Great Fireball technique, fire style ninjutsu of the Uchiha clan. Kakashi is very familiar with this ninjutsu, but Kakashi was very surprised to show such a powerful fire style ninjutsu from a kid who just graduated. And what surprised Kakashi the most was that the other party was actually one-handed. This is not an ability that can be cultivated by cultivation, it is a talent. Only talent can do it. Every ninja who can form seals with one hand is extremely enviable. The reason is also very simple, just like the situation just now. If it is the seal of both hands, then even if he successfully kills himself, he will have no time to block the flying kunai. This is where the one-handed seal is most enviable to ninjas. It is equivalent to having one hand that can directly attack while forming seals. Before Kakashi thought that the most outstanding member of the Uchiha family should be Itachi, but now it seems, the most outstanding person of the Uchiha family should be the kid in front of him. Uchiha. Sasuke. But with such a talented Sasuke, for Konoha, I don't know whether it is good or bad. Kakashi sighed softly, and at this time Sasuke's voice sounded. Ms. Kakashi, are you tired? Now is not the time to be distracted. Fire style, fire dragon technique. Boom. The sound of flames sweeping across was heard again. If the great fireball technique is a wide-ranging, powerful fire style, the only downside is that it is a little slower. Then fire dragon technique is completely different. Although the power is not as good as the Great Fireball technique, it is far faster than the Great Fireball technique in terms of speed. In an instant, a new flame emerged from the unextinguished flame of the Great Fireball technique. Straight towards Kakashi's direction, Kakashi raised his head and started making mudras as well. Earth style, earth wall. an earthen wall rose instantly, and then a roar sounded. The fire dragon technique hit the dirt wall, although it was only a thin layer of defense, but with the blessing of chakra, it was not something that flames could easily penetrate. Naruto. You have mastered other fire-style ninjutsu. Sasuke, how strong are you? Looking at Sasuke's back at this moment, in Naruto's eyes, this back is constantly magnifying. And suddenly Sasuke jumped up. Immediately after Naruto's strange gaze, the ground under Sasuke's feet broke open in the next second. Kakashi appears in it. Naruto was stunned. What's the situation? Why is Mr. Kakashi underground? Kakashi was also very surprised. The earth-style, heart-beheading technique was actually seen through. But Kakashi also had a smile on his face. Sasuke is still in the air at this moment. Seeing Kakashi's smile makes him feel uncomfortable. Immediately afterwards, a black shadow suddenly appeared from the other side and rushed towards Sasuke. Sasuke saw the figure of the other party in the corner of his eye, and it was also Kakashi, but this one was probably Shadow Clone or something. But the other party held kunai in his hand, facing his back. Was he planning to really kill him? Dodge with lightning style? For a moment, Sasuke had doubts in his heart. Do not. Stop hiding. Why did Kakashi kill me so well? Wasn't it just being stabbed? At most, he couldn't die if he was seriously injured. However, as Kakashi holding kunai gets closer and closer, seeing that kunai is about to pierce Sasuke's clothes, a ray of light flashed out. At this moment, Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, and Hiruzen all stared at the kunai who was stabbing at Sasuke. The sharp kunai will stab Commander in the next second. Little Sakura and Naruto are brain blank, because they also didn't understand why Mr. Jonin would be so merciless after a good test. This was completely in the rhythm of killing Sasuke. And Kakashi and Hiruzen are expecting Sasuke to use that lightning style. Maybe Sasuke's choice is not to use. This is no longer as simple as forcing the potential. Is Kakashi trying to force me to use some ninjutsu? Sasuke seemed to recall the time in the classroom. Sasuke thought that probably no one would notice. But obviously he was wrong. Even if it was just a momentary outburst, it was noticed. It is likely that Kakashi was already there at that time and was watching them. So, that's why I want to force myself to use super speed in this way. But Sasuke didn't want to use it. First of all, it was just a test, and there was no need to use his own cards. Secondly, speed is indeed similar to Cloud Shinobi Village's lightning-style chakra mode. So in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, Sasuke does not want to use it unless it is a last resort. And the next second a thunder flashed. The dazzling light made everyone feel their eyes suddenly go blank. Next second, zzz, thunder sounded. Hiruzen in Hokage's office suddenly stood up. Watch the lightning in the crystal ball. It really is lightning-style chakra mode. Just as he finished speaking, the light dissipated in the next second. Sasuke in the air was attacked by lightning style and fell directly from the air. The paralyzing effect of lightning style makes Sasuke unable to move for a while. And in the next second Kakashi grabbed Sasuke's hand and clasped it on his back with his backhand. Sasuke couldn't move at all. Got you, Uchiha, Sasuke. Kakashi's voice sounded. At the same time, Hiruzen sat down slowly. Not the lightning style of the Uchiha kid, it's Kakashi's lightning style clone. At the last moment, Kakashi couldn't really kill Sasuke, and couldn't force Sasuke to use lightning style. Kakashi can only forget it for the time being. The lightning style avatar was specially prepared by Kakashi so that he could stop at the last moment. Although caught by Kakashi, Sasuke was relieved. Sure enough, Kakashi may have seen that scene, but he probably didn't see it clearly, or he wasn't sure what was going on with my lightning style. It can be regarded as dodging a disaster. Sasuke is tied up by Kakashi to prevent Sasuke from escaping. Originally, when Sasuke was taken down, Naruto would definitely open his mouth to ridicule, but now he can't say a word. The gap is too big. Sasuke was able to fight back and forth with Kakashi, and even released two powerful fire-style ninjutsu in a row. The strength is not at the same level at all, which makes Naruto have no idea of mocking Sasuke at all. Some are just unsatisfied. How could such a huge gap be opened by that guy? Naruto clenched his fist tightly, and this time Kakashi glanced at the bushes. Do you want to continue, little Sakura? And the little Sakura who was hiding in the bushes came out silently. Her face was a little pale. She knew that she would not be able to snatch the bell from Kakashi. Even if Sasuke lost, how could she win? It's just that little Sakura felt that such a test was unfair. Teacher, there is no way we can defeat you, and we can't take the bell away. Are you deliberately trying to prevent us from passing? Little Sakura said. Kakashi smiled. I'm not done yet. It's just that the time is almost up. Let's continue after lunch. Saying that, Kakashi disappeared instantly, leaving the moment when the three of them disappeared in Kakashi at the same time. Sasuke is untied, and Kakashi only left 2 bentos. Naruto that fell from the tree was not put down. Sasuke and little Sakura are doing pretty well, so I'll give you 2 some food to replenish your energy. Naruto is too stupid. He confronted a ninja who is stronger than himself. I punish you to hang from a tree and reflect on yourself. Inside the Hokage office, Hiruzen was smoking his pipe, looking at the 3 people in the crystal ball. His eyes locked on Sasuke. There was no problem with Kakashi's temptation just now, but what he cared about was that at such a critical juncture. Sasuke didn't even use the lightning style at that time. This kind of thinking and surrender is really too deep. Such a kid is still a member of the Uchiha clan, so it is difficult for him to rest assured. But Sasuke is Itachi's younger brother, it would be fine if Sasuke wasn't so amazing. Now that he has such an amazing talent, Hiruzen doesn't know what to do. Sasuke's talent makes him terrifying. It even seemed to see another terrible Uchiha rising step by step. Just like Uchiha Madara once, the current Sasuke is probably not inferior to Uchiha Madara. That gymnastics, at this age, you can make hundreds of tricks with Kakashi. Coupled with amazing ninjutsu attainments, the 2 fire styles can be retracted freely, which is not at all the level that Genin level can achieve. There is also the eye-catching kunai throwing technique and one-handed mudra. All kinds of things add up. Even the former first Hokage are the legendary man Uchiha Madara. At this age, they are probably not as good as Sasuke. Such uneasy factors, once they grow up, will envelop Konoha. No. The darkness that envelops the entire ninja world. The uneasiness in Hiruzen's heart grew stronger. Perhaps giving Sasuke to the Danzo guy would be better. At this time, a voice came from the crystal ball. Eat it for you. The end of the crane. In the scene, Commander throws his bento to Naruto who is hanging from a tree. Naruto took the lunchbox and looked at Sasuke in surprise. I'm just not hungry and it feels like a waste to lose it. Hearing Sasuke's words, Naruto was full of hostility towards Sasuke before, but at this moment Naruto laughed. Little Sakura looked at the food in her hand in a daze. Sasuke-kun, you can eat with me. I can't finish it with such a small appetite. Sasuke waved his hand. No, I'm really not hungry, you guys eat. Knowing what kind of trick this is, Sasuke thought in his heart that he would wait to find something delicious. Today's battle with Kakashi did consume a lot of energy. Kakashi, who was hiding in the dark at the moment, nodded in satisfaction. And Hiruzen in Hokage's office also let out a sigh of relief. It seems that my conclusion is still too early. Although he is very talented, he is still a child after all, and he can still be cultivated. Now Sasuke doesn't know, because a bento resolved a big crisis in him. Sasuke, I didn't expect you, you really. Naruto, who was hung upside down on the tree, is now crying uncontrollably. So much so that his tears were almost falling into the bento. With snot and tears, Sasuke and little Sakura felt a little disgusted. However, at this moment, Kakashi suddenly appeared. Congratulations, passed. Naruto on the tree froze for a moment. What? What did the white-haired guy say just now? Passed. How did you pass? What are you doing? Kakashi puts Naruto down. After landing, Naruto seemed to want to ask what this meant. However, Kakashi started talking directly in the next second. A team needs to be united and know how to cooperate in order to better complete the task. Just relying solely on one person's strength, there is an endless time. It's like trying to snatch the bell from me. It's impossible for the 3 of you to do it alone. But if you join forces, there is still a chance. This test is to see if you understand teamwork. Judging from your actions just now, you have already initially understood the truth of making sacrifices for your companions. Very good, so I judge you qualified. With this great truth, Sasuke can only say that he is bluffing. Cooperate? That's just an excuse for the weak to fail? Really powerful people still need cooperation? But there is no need to say such things now, I see. Naruto looked at the bento in his hand, and then at Sasuke who was beside him. If he cooperates with Sasuke, There is indeed a chance to steal the bell from Kakashi. Sasuke's combat power is very strong, and although Naruto knows that he is not as good as Sasuke, it is still okay to delay Kakashi. It only needs to create an opportunity, then with Sasuke's strength, he will definitely be able to grab the bell. It's a pity he didn't do that just now. The little Sakura on the side also seemed to understand. Kakashi looked at the three of them. Okay. Now that I understand, from today onwards, our 7th class will be formally established. When Naruto and little Sakura heard this, they laughed from the bottom of their hearts. And Sasuke still looked calm. Seeing this, Kakashi and Hiruzen, who was watching Sasuke closely in front of the crystal ball, frowned. Doesn't forming a team make Sasuke happy? However, the corners of Sasuke's mouth rose slightly in the next second. Show a smile that is not easy to be found, and see here. Hiruzen smiled. Tsunere kid, do you even want to hide your smile? But thinking back carefully about Sasuke's life in the same year, it was also very difficult. It is inevitable to develop such a character, but it doesn't have to be really ruthless. After all, you are still young, you can change slowly. Both Kakashi and Hiruzen thought so, but what they didn't know was. What made Sasuke laugh was not the establishment of Class 7. If possible, he definitely does not want to join Class 7. The reason Sasuke couldn't help laughing was, open black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, successfully passed the placement test. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket officially became a genin of the ninja squad. Close black lens bracket. Encouragement award, ninjutsu mastery level increase. Unexpectedly, Kakashi's test would give the system an encouragement award. This is an unexpected harvest. Sasuke now wants to give Kakashi some other test. Of course, this requirement is definitely not realistic. Ninjutsu control level increased. Can you improve the level of ninjutsu I have mastered? For example, from beginners to proficient, this encouragement award is not bad. Although Sasuke feels that with his talent, it is not difficult to improve the level of ninjutsu control. But things are different now. With Naruto, it's inevitable that Hiruzen will be peeping. If you don't keep it together, Hiruzen may secretly pay attention to yourself. So Sasuke has to go outside Konoha to practice ninjutsu to be safe. At the same time become genin, enter the 7th shift and need to perform tasks every day. Naturally, there is not so much time to practice ninjutsu. In this case, this reward is not bad for Sasuke. While Sasuke was secretly laughing, little Sakura and Naruto both noticed Sasuke's more and more obvious smile. Small Sakura. Sasuke-kun smiles, it feels very warm. Naruto was not jealous, but nodded his head. That's right, the smile isn't too ugly. If that's the case, why keep a straight face all day long? Wouldn't it be good to smile more? The voice of the two also brought Sasuke back to reality. Sasuke doesn't have time to talk to these people now. It just so happens that today is the first day of our 7th class. How about I treat you to some ramen? If the team wants to lead well, small team building is unavoidable. Just after Kakashi finished speaking, Sasuke immediately put away his smile as if shy. He waved his hand. I'm not going, I'm going to practice. After finishing speaking, he left quickly without giving Kakashi and the others a chance to reply. And Kakashi smiled helplessly and shouted in Sasuke's direction, gather at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning to carry out the mission, don't forget. Kakashi can understand Sasuke's running away like this. Children who have been lonely for a long time, when they are accepted by others, their first reaction is to be happy, but at the same time they will have a little resistance. Sasuke is so arrogant. He was obviously very happy, but he didn't want to say it. I don't want to show it, and I don't even dare to have a meal together. The old Sasuke must have been lonely, but it's okay, I'll definitely get better in the future. Alone? If Sasuke knew that Kakashi thought so, he would be very speechless. I'm a fart alone, I just want to rush back immediately and claim the rewards from the system. Not at all what Kakashi thought. Regardless of what Kakashi thinks, even Hiruzen has identified Sasuke as a long-term lonely, very Tsunere kid. So there is still hope for a proper transformation so that it can inherit the will of fire. And this matter naturally needs to be handed over to Kakashi to complete. Although Sasuke is a member of the Uchiha clan, there is only Sasuke left in Uchiha. If he is trained well, he may become a loyal member of Konoha in the future. Kakashi, who had finished eating ramen with Naruto and little Sakura, looked at his wallet with tears streaming down his face. He never dreamed that the boy Naruto would be so edible. He even emptied most of his wallet. If I had known earlier, I would not have brought them to eat ramen. After saying goodbye to Naruto with tears, Kakashi came to Hokage's office, and Hiruzen just finished some things. Resting. Kakashi, you are here, come in. Seeing Kakashi directly called Kakashi in. Hiruzen is still in a good mood. I discovered such an amazing genius as Uchiha Sasuke. Although he belongs to the Uchiha family, but fortunately, we can see it from various details. Sasuke should be a nice kid. At the same time, at Sasuke's age, there is hope that this small sapling will be cultivated into a towering tree with Konoha. Sorry, Lord Third Generation, I didn't have the lightning style to force out Sasuke. Kakashi, who thought he would be reprimanded, did not hear Third Generation's reprimand. Instead, he nodded lightly. Fine, don't worry, you will have a chance to see that lightning style in the future. What do you think about Sasuke? Kakashi sorted out the vocabulary. Sasuke, I'm afraid he is the most talented existence among this group of little devils. It's not even an exaggeration to say that Konoha hasn't had a genius comparable to him in the past 10 years. Even Uchiha Itachi, in terms of talent, I'm afraid. Regarding Kakashi's evaluation, Hiruzen also has almost the same answer in his heart. In this case, Sasuke, you must teach seriously. Such a talented boy must not be allowed to grow crookedly. In the future, he will definitely become a towering tree of Konoha. Hearing this, Kakashi feels that Hiruzen has changed his attitude towards Uchiha 180 degrees. Previously, Master Third Generation thought that if Sasuke had any tendency to betray the village, he could be killed on the spot. But the change in attitude now makes Kakashi even happier. I will definitely not disappoint Lord Third Generation. Third Generation nodded. I hope the will of fire can be well inherited by Naruto and Sasuke. I see. The will of fire is equal to brainwashing. And Sasuke, who is at home at the moment, I am feeling melancholy. I should use this reward first to increase the control level of that ninjutsu. Open black lens bracket host. Uchi Sasuke close black lens bracket open black lens bracket age, 12 years old close black lens bracket, blood succession boundary, Sharingan, 2 hook jade. Mastered ninjutsu, 3 body technique, Grandmaster. Fire style. Great fireball technique, Grandmaster, fire dragon technique, Grandmaster, Phoenix Immortal Fire Technique, Grandmaster, Great Fire Dragon Technique, Skilled Great Fire Extinction, Skilled Great Fire Extinguishment, Grandmaster. Open Black Lens Bracket Lightning Style, Chidori, Beginner, Super Speed, Beginner, Close Black Lens Bracket. Mastered Physical Skills, Basic Physical Skills, Proficient. Illusions Mastered, None, Special Skills, Uchiha Throwing Technique, Small Success, One-Handed Sealing, Beginner, Chakra to Control, Grandmaster. Open Black Lens Bracket Chakra Amount, Rare Close Black Lens Bracket Open Black Lens Bracket Special Chakra, Indra Chakra, Unawakened, Close Black Lens Bracket. Comprehensive Evaluation. Weak Genin, this is Sasuke's current template data. 2 ninjutsu learned from the laboratory were also recorded by the system. To Sasuke's surprise, taijutsu, I just fought with Kakashi, and I broke through directly. From entry to proficiency, this is something Sasuke didn't expect. Upgrading physical skills is astonishingly simple. But now is not the time to think about it. Instead, you should think about which ninjutsu you should use this reward to improve. The first thing that can be improved is ninjutsu. Fire style, lightning style, illusion, and some special ninjutsu can all be improved. All are included in the scope of ninjutsu, and Sasuke is now a little hesitant which ninjutsu to improve. Sasuke's idea is to use the 2 ninjutsu of extinguishing fire and speed. The fire was extinguished, and the image left by the hand of Madara was too deep. So, Sasuke has been obsessed with it, and the speed is very helpful to Sasuke after the promotion. And this trick is due to the current amount of Sasuke's chakra, and the practice time, and there are not so many suitable opportunities to practice. It may be difficult to improve. If it is according to Sasuke's idea, the fire will be extinguished, and a fire will require a whole team to use water style to stop it. That scene is too cool. But from a practical point of view, it is best to improve the lightning style. Sasuke helped the most. I struggled for a while. In the end, the ideal still lost to reality. Let's improve the strength to the maximum first. As for the great fire, there will be a chance in the future. Thinking of this, Sasuke silently recited the reward in his mind, and used it on lightning style. The level displayed on the template will change in the next second. Open black lens bracket lightning style. Super speed, proficiency, close black lens bracket directly raised a level. Sasuke felt like nothing had changed with this level of improvement. Carefully closing his eyes and recalling the rapid knowledge, suddenly Sasuke felt different. Although there is still no deviation from the memory, the body seems to have a lot of muscle memory that popped out of thin air. After thinking about it for a while, chakra seems to know how to flow and how to coordinate the body. Can perform this ninjutsu in the fastest and most stable way. At the same time, it seems that the consumption of chakra has also been reduced by 1/3. In other words, Sasuke's chakra can last for more than a minute now. And this technique seems to have increased in power. Good, Sasuke nodded, this reward is still very powerful. If there are more rewards like this, then these ninjutsu upgrades will not be a problem. As soon as this idea popped up in his mind, Sasuke denied it. I already have the perfect talent given by the system, even if I practice by myself, it won't take long. It doesn't matter if there is no such reward. Relying on yourself to gradually become stronger will eventually give people a more solid feeling. Besides, with such a good talent, wouldn't it be a waste to think about being lazy? Hurry up and add chakra. Today's battle, 2 fire styles, made Sasuke feel that chakra consumed nearly 1/5 of it. And the fierce movement in the battle also caused him to waste a lot of chakra when he released ninjutsu. The amount of chakra is still too little. If there is enough chakra, I am afraid that Kakashi is not Sasuke's opponent. The 7th class was established. Sasuke also follows the progress of the original book, accompanying small Sakura and Naruto to perform the most basic D-level tasks. Either looking for cats, cleaning up garbage, or helping with tasks such as cutting trees and weeding. Although these tasks do not play any training role at all. But Sasuke also patiently and silently participated in the task. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. Now that Hiruzen's attention may have been drawn, Sasuke doesn't want to take any chances. The training after the daily mission is to leave Konoha village directly. Come outside Konoha for training, it takes a lot of time to travel. A few days ago, I was busy looking for a suitable training place. So basically no time for training, there is no way to quickly improve ninjutsu. Sasuke put his focus on the refining of chakra, and did not relax for a moment at night to refine chakra. When performing tasks during the day, practice one-handed mudra. Within a week, Sasuke managed to increase the amount of chakra by nearly 2/3. Every night, he practiced almost to the point of fainting. The growth brought about by hard training, coupled with Sasuke's amazing talent. In a few more days, Sasuke will be able to accomplish the feat of doubling the amount of chakra. Just over a week, just double the amount of chakra you have. If this speed of progress is known to others, they will definitely be extremely surprised. The ninja's chakra increase has never been able to increase at such a speed. At the same time, a week of practice is printed. Although it is only during the execution of the task, the training is taken out of time. But Sasuke's one-handed knot mudra has also been improved. Special skill. One-handed seal. Skilled, after successfully upgrading to the proficiency level, the speed of seal formation accelerated again. And to Sasuke's surprise, even the ninjutsu that needs to be sealed can be released. After reaching the level of proficiency in one-handed mudra, if two-handed mudra is used, although it will not increase the power of ninjutsu. But it can be done to omit a quarter of the seal. In this way, the time required to release ninjutsu will become shorter. Although this is only a small improvement, don't underestimate this change. In the battle of the strong, often 1 second can decide the outcome. Therefore, the time to release ninjutsu is shortened, allowing Sasuke to give the enemy a fatal blow more unexpectedly. When Sasuke successfully found a better place to practice outside Konoha village. Then put the focus on the practice of ninjutsu again. But after considering some problems, Sasuke did not dare to practice Chidori. First of all, Chidori's movements are too loud, and it will be difficult to say if someone finds out. Secondly, lightning style consumes a lot of chakra. Sasuke also had no way to release several times. Regardless of which of the two reasons, practicing lightning style temporarily needs to wait for Sasuke's chakra to increase more. On the other hand, Sasuke thinks it is necessary to practice fire style. Considering that I am afraid that I will be troubled by too little chakra for a long time. So Sasuke decided to specialize in one ninjutsu. That is Fire Dragon technique. Another Uchiha family housekeeping ninjutsu that is also a C-level ninjutsu, Great Fireball technique. The reason why Sasuke didn't choose this ninjutsu was because he found out after comparison. Great fireball technique. The attack speed is slow, although it is powerful, it is not conducive to control. The fire dragon technique is easy to control, and the attack speed is fast. Although it is only a small-scale flame impact, if you can increase the amount of chakra injected, it can also increase the attack range to a certain extent. If you continue to improve the control level of fire dragon technique, then on the one hand, you can not only reduce the consumption of chakra as much as possible, it can also release this technique more quickly, and at the same time the power of the technique can also be increased. After making the decision, Sasuke began to focus on the practice of fire dragon technique. At this time, Sasuke's talent has been well interpreted. Although the training time is very short, even less than an hour a day. But in just a few days, Sasuke successfully raised the fire dragon technique to another level. Open black lens bracket fire style. Fire dragon technique, Xiaocheng, close black lens bracket. At this level, it is already comparable to Jonin, who specializes in fire style, in ninjutsu. However, Sasuke is not enough, he really wants to see what the next stage will be like if he continues to improve. What kind of situation is it like when it is even promoted to the top level? Time flies and half a month has passed. From the tasks issued by the system, upgrade your own evaluation to General Genin. Sasuke is required to complete within 1 month. There are only a few days left. Sasuke, who was full of confidence at the beginning, is now a little depressed. It doesn't make sense why the evaluation still hasn't changed. In half a month, Sasuke's chakra volume doubled. Even Sasuke specially observed that his chakra amount is already more than double that of a normal chunin. At the same time, ninjutsu. On fire style alone, his worst fire style ninjutsu has been upgraded to a level comparable to chunin's. And the fire dragon technique, which he specializes in, has been promoted to a new level. Open black lens bracket fire style. Fire dragon technique, expert, close black lens bracket. Just such a fire style ninjutsu. Sasuke's attainments in this ninjutsu, I'm afraid even Hokage can't compare. After the minor success comes the major achievement, and the major achievement already corresponds to the elite Jonin level. The expert corresponds to the cage level. A cage level ninjutsu, anyway, Sasuke is strong enough in ninjutsu. But the systematic evaluation is still comprehensive evaluation, weak genin. Sasuke didn't understand. Why? I'm still a weak genin like this. By what standard is the system judged? Now an ordinary Jonin stands in front of Sasuke, and Sasuke promises to deal with each other easily. As long as you don't get close by the opponent, it is still very easy to guarantee a non-injured kill. Wait. My weakness is physical skills. Now Sasuke's taijutsu level is only proficient. Could it be that the comprehensive evaluation of the system can only be changed if the conjoined body technique is also improved? Although I don't know if this idea is correct, it is worth a try. But the improvement of taijutsu, the last time I played against Kakashi, do you want to practice with Kakashi? According to Kakashi's personality, he is not very willing to agree or not to say anything. His performance is too amazing and it is easy to attract Hiruzen's attention. Can't find Kakashi, but Konoha still has a master of gymnastics. Speaking of Konoha's taijutsu master, needless to say, everyone knows who it is. The man who almost kicked the finale, King Guy. With the 8 inner gates fully open, even Madara was almost killed. If there is a Might Guy accompanying Sasuke to practice physical skills, he will definitely improve rapidly. But Sasuke may not be able to let this master of gymnastics accompany him to train so easily. After all, I won't say that the other party is Jonin, and I am not the other party's disciple. So finding Might Guy is impossible, but, find Might Guy's disciple, Lee Locke is no problem. A brat at this age would obediently fight him if he provoked him with just a few words. Although it is estimated that the effect of competing with Xiaoli in physical skills will not be as good as that of a physical master like Might Guy. But definitely not too bad. After all, Sasuke's level is worse than Xiaoli's now. Thinking of this, Sasuke decided to go to Konoha to find Xiaoli after the task was over. And today it seems Kakashi has something going on. I only did one task, and left Sasuke and others free time in the afternoon. Naruto and little Sakura also breathed a sigh of relief. Doing this kind of boring D-level task every day is a kind of mental torture. After Kakashi left, Sasuke was also ready to leave. And this time Naruto stopped Sasuke. Sasuke, what are you in such a hurry for? Can't you stay a little longer with the companions who will be with you day and night in the future? We're going back anyway, let's go back together. Sasuke nodded, let's be together if it doesn't matter. It's not that I don't want to communicate with Naruto, the Hanging King, it's just that I'm too busy recently. So that there is no time to talk to Naruto and little Sakura. But it is precisely because of this that Kakashi and Hiruzen are even more convinced that Sasuke has some genius arrogance and some arrogance in character. Little Sakura was also very excited when she saw this, of course she didn't show anything on the surface. And the three returned to Konoha village together. Naruto walks on the far left with his head in his hands. Sasuke is in the middle and little Sakura is on the right. What happened to Mr. Kakashi today? He didn't give us endless D-level tasks. Is the Jonin doing something big today? Hearing this, Sasuke said lightly, this is not true. Naruto was surprised that Sasuke was willing to talk to himself. In the past half a month, Sasuke hasn't spoken a few words to them. Then why do you say it is? The D-level tasks in the village are probably all done. After all, Konoha is only this big, and using D-level tasks to train Genin, who just graduated, won't last long. Hearing this, Naruto was stunned for a moment, but he didn't think about the reason for this. Together with them, they cleared all the D-level missions in the village. Of course, Sasuke and the others are not the only ones sweeping up the D-level missions, almost all other teams are also carrying out these D-level missions. The accumulation of the village for a year, but relying on the time when Genin graduated, all the D-level tasks were cleared. Then you don't need to perform D-level missions after that? Sasuke nodded, it should be. There is no need to do D-level tasks anymore. Genin will graduate next year, and they still need these D-level tasks to practice their skills. Naruto waved his fist excitedly, I finally made it through. I don't even want to do any of the damn D-level missions. Okay. Seeing that they were about to reach the center of the village, Sasuke looked at the two of them, let's stop here today, I'll go first. Saying that, Sasuke disappeared without waiting for the two to reply. And the little Sakura was a little depressed, and she planned to have a few more words with Sasuke. But in the end, he still didn't say a word, but Naruto, that bastard, actually talked and laughed with Mr. Sasuke. Damn, it's too enviable, and Naruto also looked a little regretful. This guy doesn't know how to wait for others to finish talking before leaving. I wanted to say thank you. Naruto wanted to say thank you to Sasuke for the bell fight that day. But this time it seems to be missed. Just wait for the next time. And Sasuke didn't know what Naruto was thinking. Now Sasuke is preoccupied with finding Xiaoli. If you are lucky, Xiaoli and his team should be in Konoha. If you don't go out to the village to perform tasks, the chances of finding it are still very high. After all, if Xiaoli doesn't perform the task, the probability is to cultivate. And his practice is not small, so it is not difficult to find Xiaoli. Never give up, I have to work harder than a genius. Today's goal is to run 10 laps around the village. If you can't finish it, you will be punished with 3,000 leapfrogs. Hear these passionate words, Sasuke felt that he should have found it. And it's easier than imagined. Just in an open space at the edge of Konoha Park, he easily found Xiaoli, who was about to run around Konoha. And there are two people beside him, one Neji and one Tiantian. Both of them are also training. Of course, Sasuke directly ignored the two in his field of vision. Xiaoli, who was about to run around Konoha, was just about to speed up. In the next second, a pinch of kunai was directly nailed to the ground in front of Xiaoli's eyes. At the same time, Neji also turned his head, and Tiantian also stopped. Who is it? Xiaoli was a little puzzled. This is Konoha, who would easily attack Konoha shinobi in Konoha. Although it was misplaced, it may have been intentionally misplaced, but it may also be that the other party's technology is only like this. The next second was on the stone pillar beside him. Sasuke's figure landed steadily on it. Putting his hands in his pockets condescendingly, he looked at Xiaoli in front of him. Li Locke. The other party was stunned for a moment. Who are you? How do you know my name? And this time Neji frowned. Judging from Sasuke's attire, he has already guessed who the other party is. Uchiha's attire. The entire Konoha is still wearing this attire, there is only one person. Uchiha's last man, Uchiha Sasuke. The other party should be Genin, who just graduated this year. Why did he appear here all of a sudden, and directly stop Xiaoli with kunai? It sounded like it was aimed at Xiaoli. Why did a person from the Uchiha clan come to Xiaoli? My name, Uchiha Sasuke. I heard that among the genin 1 year older than me, there is a guy with very strong physical skills, named Li Lok. It just so happens that physical skills are my weakness, so I'm here to discuss with you. What did he say? Li looked at Sasuke coldly. Physique is his weakness, so he wants to learn from genin, the strongest physique? Is this guy insulting himself? Let alone Xiaoli now, even Neji, who has always been a little proud, is a little angry. Although he always feels that ordinary people can't catch up with geniuses no matter how hard they try. But Xiaoli was his companion, and his companion was humiliated by such an inexplicable guy. Neji wasn't going to sit idly by either, and Tiantian's expression on the side suddenly became extremely indifferent. Originally, she saw Sasuke's good looks and turned into a nympho, but the next second Sasuke's words made her extremely angry. How could this be possible? Gymnastics? It was something Xiaoli was proud of, but the other party actually insulted Xiaoli's physical skills. It is good, then let's compete. Sasuke glanced at Neji and Tiantian. These two guys looked at themselves as if they wanted to scratch themselves. It's just that a little excitement won't make it. You can't even control your emotions, this is a taboo for ninjas. How can you fight if you don't keep absolute calm? Xiaoli raised his finger to the open space beside him. Then here it is. Let me see how much weight you, an arrogant guy who likes to despise others, really have. After Xiaoli finished speaking, his eyes became murderous. He can allow others to insult him in other places, but he cannot insult his physical skills. Because this is the result of his countless days and nights of hard training. This achievement is his pride and the pride of his teacher. The only glory in Xiaoli's heart, no one is allowed to trample on it. Xiaoli, you have to be careful. This guy's name is Uchiha Sasuke, and he is the #1 guy in this year's genin. Hearing this, Xiaoli was stunned for a moment, and immediately understood. Another genius. He once wanted to defeat Neji, that goal has not been achieved. But now comes another genius. Xiaoli will not let up anymore. Ordinary people can defeat geniuses even with hard work. This is what little Li Shang wants to prove. Neji also took a look at Sasuke, especially after Sasuke turned around. The Uchiha clan crest on the back. The Hyuga clan also has its own clan crest. Speaking of which, the Hyuga family and the Uchiha family, as the two major pupils of the ninja world, have inherent contradictions that cannot be adjusted. It stands to reason that Uchiha's people should find trouble on his head. But this time it was aimed at Xiaoli. This made Neji start to wonder if Uchiha Sasuke came after him, but wanted to see the strength of his companion first. It's good to roughly estimate your own strength. This possibility is very high. At this time, Sasuke had already stood opposite Xiaoli. Meanwhile, at the edge of the park, the might guy who just arrived here is also watching secretly. This is the kid from the Uchiha clan. Is Konoha the only kid who survived? He wants to challenge Li. Not bad. Li, let this Uchiha guy see your power. Guy has always been worried about Li's character and lacks a little self-confidence. Because of Neji, Li always felt weak. Going out to perform tasks is just to solve some bandits and thieves. It can't help Xiaoli build up his self-confidence at all. Now challenge the ninjas from the same village, and they are also geniuses of similar age. This is very helpful for Xiaoli to make up for the part of his lack of self-confidence. The other party still took the initiative to come to the door. Even if the other party's Jonin instructor came to axe, I was justified. Guy put his hands on his chest as if he was watching a show. Jean would soon stop laughing. Li raised one hand in a gesture of invitation. And Sasuke raised his hand and hooked him. Come on. Xiaoli frowned. Aren't you going to use ninjutsu? If you let me do it first, you might not have the chance to use ninjutsu. Did you forget that I said I'm here to compete with you in martial arts? If you use ninjutsu, then why do you need to learn from each other? You are no match at all. If you use ninjutsu, Xiaoli can't fight at all. However, being ridiculed by Sasuke again, Xiaoli's face became even more gloomy. If you don't take me seriously again and again, don't blame me for being rude. Boom! In an instant, Xiaoli's explosive speed surprised Sasuke. This explosive power seems to be stronger than Kakashi. As far as pure body skills are concerned, Xiaoli's speed is naturally faster than Kakashi. But Kakashi's body flicker technique is not low. Much faster than Xiaoli. Immediately after Xiaoli punched directly, Sasuke raised his hand to block. Seeing Sasuke's actions, Xiaoli was a little surprised. Can this guy keep up with me? Boom! A punch to Commander's assistant's arm, pushing Sasuke back. Xiaoli accelerated again, and the fist shadow instantly enveloped Sasuke. At first Sasuke thought it should be easy, but now he feels differently. Ninjas who specialize in body arts are still different from normal ninjas. This kind of airtight attack, even Kakashi can't do it. Sasuke can only dodge back in this situation, and Xiaoli will not let Sasuke go so easily. Accelerating to catch up, fists and feet are constantly changing various attack methods. The dull impact sounded continuously. Sasuke was quite embarrassed when he blocked. Neji and Tiantian, who were still worried, were also relieved at this time. It's true that Fang's physical skills are not at the same level as Xiaoli's, so there's no need to worry about it. If this continues, Xiaoli will soon be able to take down the opponent. Tiantian. Xiaoli's attack frequency, the opponent can't fight back. It seems that this guy is just a little more stubborn. The strength is simply too weak. Neji also sneered in his heart, HMPH, Uchiha, that's all. But suddenly Sasuke grabbed Lee's fist. Immediately afterwards, a clever leverage made Xiaoli retreat. At this moment, Neji and Tiantian didn't think there was anything wrong, they just thought it was probably his last outburst. Our luck. The might guy who was hiding in the dark looked a little strange. Coincidence? It seems to have seen through Lee's attack. Do not. No, he was a bit reluctant to keep up with Lee's speed, and it was impossible to see through Lee's attack.